Welcome to the Depth Perception Podcast.
We go in depth about the perception and misconceptions of optometry,
which include the business of optometry,
social issues within optometry,
and life as an optometry student.
Coming straight from Dr. Jasdeep Singh Soni,
Dr. Nadia Afghami,
Dr. Douglas Akiti,
and Dr. Svetlana Nunez. We hope you enjoy this episode.
All right, so we got the Depth Perception Pod, but we got a special guest here. At least half of us are here, but we got a special guest too, right? Who do we got here, Nadia?
This is the best optometrist in Herbie, close your ears. This is the best optometrist in Canada, I would have to say. She needs no introduction, but I will let her give her own little spiel. I want give us your handle, give us the whole lowdown, Alexa.
Yeah, my name's Alexa. I'm an optometrist in Toronto, Canada. And I graduated in 2021 from University of Waterloo. And I met these people at Transitions Academy. We were trying to figure out, I think, 3 or 2024. I don't know. Nadia, I met her before JD.
Sorry, JD.
But I did see the depth perception form. I did see it.
In person?
Year, you guys formed.
I feel like it's so hard to tell because we all, like, when you're on social, you feel like you're besties, like, for a long time, even though you're not in person. So, like, when you see people in person, you're like, when have we not seen each other before this? So it's crazy.
Right? Plus, you're posting a ton on social media. You're, like, all over TikTok, right? Doing all that stuff. So we feel like we see you more.
And your hair looks great today. You had a hair appointment.
It does look good.
A haircut.
Like, I know,
literally
I love it.
for this. It was like perfect timing.
I know. Show it to us. We want to see. If you guys can't see, it's beautiful. We got some layers going on.
Got some front layers. It was actually like, this is such a side note, but like I was only planning on getting a cut and I like rarely color my hair. And I was like kind of like looking in the mirror and I was like, is my hair like kind of turning like a little bit orange red? And my hairdresser was like, yeah, a little. I was like, yeah, you should probably tone that. And she was like, yeah, we should. So here we are. Here we are.
Beautiful.
Fresh. Thank you
Does
so much.
it happen in seasons? Is it like when the leaves change colors?
No, it's like when you go into the sun or like an ocean and like your blonde kind of gets all brassy and not nice.
I know JD doesn't understand, but yeah, it's kind of like if you put a white t-shirt in the sun and it just kind of gets like sun bleached almost.
Yeah.
We're going in depth here.
I'm sure this is what everyone came to listen.
Everyone's really excited about this part.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be here and chat with you guys and just catch up on life.
It's really,
I think you got a lot cooking, right? Like, so we were kind of chatting off air, but we started and we realized we should just record this. So you're running a business. Tell us about that.
I know. I'm a new business owner, female entrepreneur here.
Wow. JD, you're the only one not, so.
No, he has his I Spy talent.
But he's not a female business owner.
I am not a female business owner. Yes. I do not know how to have these hair conversations, but that's okay. That's why you ladies are here.
Okay, this is good. We're all business owners, technically. Yeah. I love it.
So I want to say this to JD before I jump into my own thing, that I remember at Transitions when we were sitting together and you were like, I have this idea. I like want to do more than just like be in practice. And you had all these like brewing ideas. You just like didn't know how to like what you were going to do with it. And like, it's so cool to see what you've done. Like it's awesome.
Thank you. That means a lot, Alexa, especially from a colleague, someone who's really out there networking wise. Yeah, you were there. I remember having those conversations with you and that's like the cool part, right? Like we're all go-getters here. We're all helping each other to inspire each other. And so that's where like, I'm excited to hear your story too. Like what's going on and like what's going on with your business so that when we do this pod again in a couple of years, I want to see that growth with you too.
Growth. Yeah. So I had the opportunity to purchase a practice from an older doc who was retiring, and it was just like a perfect location, really close to home, kind of no other optometry clinic within like a certain amount of like certain kilometer. And I was just like, it's so perfect. So it kind of just all happened, and really quickly, as you know, things happen and here we are. So yeah, it's in a private optical. So I'm taking charge of like 100% of the optometry portion of things, learning as we go. Currently registering with all the contact lens companies and getting all these pricing and rebates, and it's all so fun.
Is it like, okay, so I'll tell you what I had to do and then tell me if it's like similar in Canada.
Yeah.
So I had to like register with the state first, like the business.
Yeah.
And then I had to register with like the city. And then I had to register like the IRS number with the government. Like for
I
like
think like I had a few less steps. Like I had to like become incorporated, which I wasn't, and
yeah.
then register the business with the government and create a business name. And I feel like there was one more step you had.
I had to well, we have to like I have a new like it's almost like a new social security, but it's like for the business. It's called like an
EIN.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't
So we
have
have
that.
to do yeah. Wow, do
I
you guys
don't
pay
think I do.
taxes?
Yeah, we do. I have it. I have an HST number, so that's good.
Okay, it
HST.
must be like the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
every day I was like, we're on like Chat GPT, right? And I was like, what do I do today? You know, so
It's actually really helpful. Like using chat was really helpful in like giving me like a roadmap on like what I
yeah.
needed to do, and like I still am like putting all the pieces together of things that I need to get done. So I think that's the honestly, I feel like now that I've done those like tedious little things, it's okay. But at the beginning, it was really overwhelming. So I was like, I have so much I have to do, and like it just felt like a lot. But
Yeah, every day it's something new. Like I actually just had like somebody from the ophthalmologist office come over, and he is an OD that's part of the board, and he was like, "Oh, don't forget you're supposed to register your business name with the board of Nevada actually."
right,
I know, and I was like, I had no idea. So I was like,
yeah,
thank God he told me because he's like, otherwise you're going to get a fine. And I was like, wow, every day I'm learning something like
seriously,
new.
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's cool to have people to help you along the way. Like people always ask like, how do you do this? How do you start a business? And like I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. I just think you have to have people supporting you and mentors and people who have, you can text at 1 a.m. or well, not 1 a.m. because I'm asleep, but like all your 1 a.m. thoughts the
Yeah,
next day.
you gotta put it in your notes app so that
There's always a fire. It's like, what fire are you going to put out first? Like, which one is the biggest one?
Yeah,
That's the
for
crazy
sure.
part. But
Yeah.
there's things that's the whole point, right? Like you learn something new, it makes you uncomfortable, and then once you
Yeah.
get the system in place, boom, it feels so good, right? Like you can tell
Seriously.
people to take their shoes off at the door because it's your house. That's the most fun part.
In Canada, everyone takes their shoes off.
Really?
no way.
Yeah,
In the office
100%.
or at your house?
No, at our house.
I was like,
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no, people don't wear shoes in the house. It's not a thing.
yeah. I mean, I'm in a Persian
American people
household.
do
You
that.
take your shoes off.
In a Punjabi household, you wouldn't, but like I think American people generally do.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I think it's
You don't
more
want to bring
common
outside
here.
inside. That's gross.
Yeah. Okay, so you're on board with the Canadians.
I can move right now, but I'm too locked in here.
I think so.
She got her EIN, and then you got your TST, so that's why you're locked in.
Chesty or
HST,
something,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Toronto, I don't know. That's why I thought TST.
So how did you hear about your opportunity, Alexa? Like, did it like
So I was looking for a bit, and then my father-in-law works like 2 doors down from this optical, and he was like, just go inside and see what's going on. So I wandered inside one day and started talking to the optician. He was like, I need a new optometrist. And then we were chatting for months and months and like trying to figure out what made sense. And yeah, I think like the toughest part was figuring out. So I'm still working at the private practice I'm at 3 days a week. So I'm like trying to kind of figure that all out and how many days I need to be at each practice. But it's kind of nice having both because I don't have full-time patient base. And I've heard both arguments, like you should be there full time and like, any emerge is like your patient. And I think there's pros and cons to doing that as well. But it's also nice having that income from the like a steady income. So
yeah,
that is a challenge, right? Like you still have loans probably yet to pay, you still have bills, you still have
right.
things you want to do, but at the same time you're like, I want to think long term, right? Like I think I struggled with the same thing and Nadia jumped into, right? Like privacy optometry gives me income as well, and it helps with talking to other doctors and you help them to look for jobs. It's like, how do you balance that time, right? Maybe you should do full this or full that, right? Like, so I get what you're doing. I guess at the end of the day, you just have to listen to your gut, right?
Yeah. I think too, like until I get to the point where I feel like either like I'm really being pulled to like my business and like I need to be there. I'm happy practicing at the group practice I'm at. So I do see a world where it's possible to do both and maybe hire an associate or someone to be at the clinic the days when I'm not, right? So that's a strategy that could work too. Do you have associates, Nadia? No, not yet. Like you don't need
one. I only have one room right now, so
right. Same.
yeah, which is nice. It's like 20 feet, so I can make it into 2 eventually if I like really get busy. But
Yeah.
I was in the same boat. Like I was like, well, if I need to fill in, like there's opportunities obviously in Vegas for like fill in. Me and
Right.
JD were talking for a while about it too, but The practice, I mean, I'm very lucky, is like we talked earlier, like just busy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people are just waiting to come, which is lucky. So like I can't be working like an extra day. Like I'm
No.
already there
Yeah.
5 days a week. So
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, you do have an impending pregnancy, right?
Wild.
So I guess
Yeah.
one thing we could try.
Hmm,
I'd love to hear more thoughts on
forgot
that.
about her. Yeah,
I
she's
know, I
hanging
know.
out in there too. Yeah.
Also, like, I'd love to hear perspective on. Obviously, I'm a male, right, with the business, but like, I'd love to hear a female's perspective on maybe challenges you may face that are different with running a business. Jump
I
in
feel
on
like
that.
it's not, but I mean,
No challenges. I mean, you're about to have a baby,
No,
right?
I
Like,
think it's like planning and family planning, and like I'm
yeah,
kind of in the same
absolutely.
boat where it's like I'm trying to figure that out, and like that's also like came into the factor of like, okay, I kind of wanted to make this move sooner rather than later, because like if I'm don't own something, I'm not making money if I go on mat leave. And like what even is mat leave as like an independent contractor? Like doesn't exist.
Okay.
So, I think that definitely was a factor in my decision. And I was kind of like, okay, that pushed me to do something sooner. Whereas if that wasn't in the picture, I might have just kind of strolled along at my private practice and like been an associate longer.
which is where in the U.S. it's a little different, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to be independent contractors. Some states will provide you a certain amount of leave time. We won't talk about Nevada since maybe it's not that great.
What
Yeah,
is
we don't
it? I'm
have any.
curious.
Yeah, we don't have any leave time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have like an Aflac plan that's supposed to like help a little bit, but yeah, I'm gonna need to hire somebody. Like I have to have
Yeah.
coverage, obviously, because they're probably gonna be out like 8 weeks at least.
Which is like 8 weeks is like nothing. Like you
Yeah,
say that, like it's like, well, at least
it's
8
gonna go
weeks.
so fast.
That's like nothing within newborn world.
Yeah. So if I have someone, I'd like 12, but I'm shooting for 8.
I
I think
know.
that but the cool part was like this is the first time we've potted since I think I bought the business, but like I got to take the baby with me to like all the things I was doing, like
Yeah.
it just feels nice. Like you're like someday I can tell her like we started a business together because she
Yeah.
went with me to like the state. She went with me to register for the board.
So
It's like we're doing all the things together, girl. So
yeah.
it's like
Are
a
you,
it's like a fulfilling thing where you're like, hey, you started a business when you weren't even born yet.
are you gonna try a leash, or are you gonna do one of those like where she like sits on
I
your
don't
chest,
want to. Yeah,
the backpack,
I
the
know.
fun
Today I
pack?
was at the grocery
What's the
store. I was
fun?
like,
Fun squat?
man, like next year at this time, I'm going to be like, let's go faster, and like right now I can just trot along with her. So
Yeah,
All
I
right,
feel like
so
that's
family planning is the challenging part.
yeah, I think so. If that's something you want, right?
yeah, I mean,
And
all my stuff is female, so I think they're very understanding. I was like, I have to go home and take a nap. Like
yeah.
I can't be
I
here
think
right
it's
now.
also like, trying to figure out where do kids come in and where does your business. And I think you'll never have perfect balance. And, I have talked to business owners who had their kids and then started a business. And for them, that timing was good. And then I've had people who were saying, do it before, because once you have kids, it's going to be hard for you to go back and do that. So, I think timing happens, and, this was planned, but it wasn't. So either way, I think it would have worked out. And yeah, I think though, as females, that's always on our minds and our ticking time bomb. But luckily, there's things you can do, like freeze your eggs or embryos or.
Was that ever, if you're comfortable sharing, a consideration of like, let me pursue these other routes to prioritize the entrepreneurship part for either of you?
Nadia.
I mean, mine just sort of, I mean, originally I was going to partner, right? So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's not as bad. Like I'm going to partner and then, somebody's going to cover whatever. And then this opportunity just kind of like fell to me. And I was
Yeah.
like, at the right time, because he decided not to partner. And then like right then, like somebody was like, hey, this guy's trying to retire and sell his practice. And I was like, I can't say no. Like, this is just like such a crazy thing that like this is what I wanted. Like it's also close to it's like 20 minutes, like it's like 10 minutes from my parents' house. Like I could drop off the baby. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like in the back of my mind right now, like the baby's so far away. I'm just trying to keep the business like afloat this week. like every day I'm like, okay, we just need to make enough to like cover payroll at least, that kind of thing. We got to make sure to cover the bills. So of course there's like another layer, like every day it's something new, but I don't know, you just kind of figure it out as you go. What if I wasn't having a baby? Would I not do, it's like,
Yeah.
it's when I was applying to optometry school, people were like, oh, you're kind of getting older. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to be 35 anyway. I might as well be a doctor.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm going to be a mother anyway. I might as well be a business owner. Like, what's
Yeah.
the difference? Like, you just kind of do it and then you just go through it, I guess. I don't know. What
I
about
guess
you?
what keeps you going? Like, what is the rewarding part for both of you with starting these private practices or businesses at this time? Like, what is giving you, with the challenges? What is like pushing you and getting you excited?
Alexa, you go first because
I
I'm
think I think it's like knowing that I'm gonna like make this something really cool and like something that's like my baby, and like everything I'm putting in like will pay off and will be worth it. And everyone who started had these early stages. All successful things didn't just happen, right? Like it takes time. And I think it's kind of interesting being in that and seeing like day by day how things are growing. So that's what keeps me going, I think.
Yeah, for me too, it's like agreed. Like, I feel like there was a lot of times when I was seeing patients and I was like, well, maybe see you next year. Like, I don't know
Right.
where I'm going to be. Like, but now you're like really building something that's yours, and like all the time that you're putting in to like talk to the patients and like being personable and like going the extra mile, like really counts for something, right? Like,
Yeah.
I want to be able to see my patients every year until, they're having their own kids and they're doing
Yeah.
whatever. And then just the freedom of being like, hey guys, can you block off my schedule for an hour? Like I'm gonna go out. Or like, hey, don't book me on Thursday. Like I'm taking so and so to the doctor, or like my parent or whoever, like, or hey, I have an appointment. Like, I don't have to answer to anyone. And I think for me that was really important to like just have that freedom. Like, yeah, the
Yeah.
stress is a little more, but eventually the stress is gonna get like more manageable, I guess, hopefully. But it's an investment. Like school wasn't easy, right?
Yeah.
So like you invested all that like time and all that money, and you have to know what your why is, right? We always talk about our why.
Yeah.
Just
I
a
think
comment.
on that topic about like having a little bit more independence as an owner. So in Canada, because this is I guess a major difference, because we're independent contractors as optometrists, like to a certain extent you set your hours. To a certain extent, if I have a hair appointment and want to take off the last hour of my day today, I can. If I want to take a week off in March, I can. It's not paid, but I think if you can touch on the difference between how an optometrist practices in the States, you sign like a contract, right? Like a year contract with a salary.
Let's
We sign
let's put some
contracts
of our
too.
listeners are a little younger, right? So let's give a little
Yeah,
breakdown. So there's everybody jump in here. So there's W-2 in the US, and then W-2 means you're an employee for a business
right.
or independent contractor, which Alexa is having to do in Canada, right?
Yeah.
So Alexa, right? So as a independent contractor, what do you get and how does it work?
So
It's just like a
Essentially, you
day
get
rate, I
you
guess, right?
like you said, you're independent. So you say when you're coming to work, you don't get benefits, you don't
I
get
can work at multiple clinics.
you multiple clinics, you don't get paid time off though, you don't get health
No,
insurance, you have to pay for all that stuff on your own.
right.
But then you also have to pay like state, federal taxes. You have to start a business, right? Technically starting a business, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the W-2, Nadia tells us about that. If you're a normal employee, like just like you graduated for, you're working for someone's clinic, which is what majority of ODs do, associates. How would that be?
So it's a little different for everyone because it's like different contracts, but
Right.
normally you get paid like a salary rate. And then
hmm
if you're not there, they just take it off your day rate, basically,
Mm,
right? But then there's expectations like, oh, you have to see this many patients a day, or like you
yeah.
only get 10 PTO days and the rest are not paid, or it's just like that pressure of being like asking, like I have to be like, hey, like, can I have this day off? And then they have to like approve or not approve. They could say no,
Right.
And it makes sense. You're an employee of the business, right? They're in California, they're paying taxes for you, and you're paying taxes out of your paycheck too, right? Like
Right.
whereas a independent contractor, you're paying all the tax.
Yeah.
Like you're independent. That's the whole point of the word independent versus being under someone's hood, right? So those are like those are some of just the main big differences. But so that's why for you, you're kind of already an independent contractor, which has a little entrepreneurial spirit to it, right? You
Right.
have to get your own credit cards, you have to get your own benefits, you have to start a business already, and then when you're jumping to this kind of thing, maybe it's not as far off as some other people, maybe for Nadia, right?
Right. Yes and no. You don't technically have to be incorporated. A lot of people are for tax purposes, but there's also a lot of optometrists who aren't yet and don't have their own business. Either they're
I mean,
like,
here too, it's like that. Like you don't have
yeah,
to be like a 1099 and have an LLC. Like it's better for you because you're
Gotcha.
protected a little more, right? Like,
Yeah.
however, you could just use your own social and just get paid independently. So
I
Mm.
think it's
more.
better to start the business and do all that, but for
yeah,
everybody, a little different. I know it takes a lot of work, right, to do all that.
yeah.
Like just like you were saying,
And
starting a
money,
business.
but
Yeah,
legal
true.
fees.
I guess, I mean, if you're starting a business, right, the first thing, like you said you did, you get the for you all the HST. Did I say that right this time?
Well, the first thing is you need a lawyer to
Get a lawyer,
incorporate you. So
get an
Oh, you
HST,
can't just
or
do it
yeah.
yourself?
it's harder, I think, to do. I don't know.
You do
I
it
didn't
yourself,
even like
Nadia?
try. My dad's a lawyer and he was like, you need a lawyer. I was like, okay, Dad.
I mean, I just did my own LLC, to be honest. I was like, me and Chat did it together. I was like, where do I go?
Wow.
What do I do?
Wow,
So,
impressive.
JD, what kind of employee are you?
I am an independent contractor, and then I started with that business. I use my recruiting stuff with it, and then I speak for
Right.
outcomes. All that stuff goes under
Yeah.
one entity in my business. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
that
had to
makes
do all that where you're saying, start the EIN for us, get QuickBooks for all that, get your
Yeah.
business credit cards, get an accountant to do the taxes for you, all that stuff, right?
Yeah. So you're
Payroll,
when
that
you're
kind of stuff.
practicing though, like you have a little bit more flexibility.
Yes.
That's how you can work part-time there.
Yeah, essentially, I mean, that is more based on the opportunity I have is in a very remote area, so that's why
Okay.
I almost canceled on you tonight. I'm gonna drive back 3 or 4 hours right after this to
Oh
my
my
home.
God.
So
Oh my
I
God.
go in the middle of nowhere. People do like travel nursing, right? They go
Yeah.
to a random place, stay at a random place, and so I do that in a town that there's not many providers, which is why the opportunity is really good.
Wow.
Provides me the time and flexibility to do my business entrepreneurial stuff, doing a week on, week off kind of situation.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it was very unique.
That's a long drive. We should end
Yeah,
he
it
only
okay.
does
here.
it like every, like what? Like you work for
True.
2 weeks and then you
Yeah.
don't work.
Sunday
So,
and then like Fridays or whenever I'm leaving, essentially.
yeah. So he's like in one spot for like a week or two and then he like,
Oh, I
does
see.
more.
Okay. You don't do that every day. Like every
Yeah,
day you
no.
work.
No. Every day, yeah, it wouldn't be possible. It wouldn't be possible.
Okay.
But yeah, I know. I mean, you got to fit. Like, you're talking about what's your why. My why is, like creating and trying different challenges, right? Like with recruiting, there's not like hey, I call some doctor and they knew how they do it. Like I'm trying different things and it doesn't work all the time. And that's what I like about it, right? I mean, with
Yeah.
all your business and all you're doing, you guys, we all have fires and that you're putting out too, right? So there's a lot of parallels with what we're doing. But I guess, what do you think would be successful for you? Or like, where do you see yourself like in 3, 5 years, 7 years, like when we talk again?
I think it's hard for me to know exactly. I think either, I purchase the optical or I expand and move or grow or I don't know exactly. Multiply at a different location. Like, who knows? Have 5 babies? No, I'm kidding.
Wow. Wait
I'd
till
have to
you
work pretty
try
fast.
one and then you'll be like, this is my only baby. Like me. I'm like, that's
Future
just don't work.
employees?
What'd you say?
Can you imagine the baby at the front desk, like checking someone in?
Literally, yeah.
We're a
No, I
family-owned
don't know.
business.
We got a
Just one
front
day at a
desk guy.
time. We're taking one day at a time.
True.
What about you?
I think I'd like to at least be like the recruiter for the whole West Coast and continue just being like the main guy that everybody looks to when it comes to optometry schools or people when they look for jobs. I have some people I'm trying to partner up with like the state society, stuff like that. So all these
Yeah.
people kind of go hand in hand in the West Coast. So I'd love to be the individual that people come to, and then having these conversations is really fun as a doctor when you hear about all these different clinics and stories, and you're just talking to your colleagues. Like one thing that Nadia and I like talking about is when you're a patient, sometimes we see 20, 30 a day, whatever it may be, right? It's hard to keep up with everybody when you're working in these kind of consulting situations. You really get close to somebody. That's
Yeah.
what I enjoy.
Yeah. It seems like that's your passion, right? And how do you do people come to you? Are you seeking out people? Is it like a bit of both?
Bit of both.
Yeah.
All the pipelines are open for people to come to us, but sometimes you still have to chase
Right.
ODs and remind them what could be good for them. So
Yeah.
that's actually why I enjoy it too. I love the chase part too of something that's not guaranteed.
Yeah. What's your main audience of this podcast?
Our main audience, I would say, graduates of the last 5 years, but we also share our podcast with the Defocus Media, who has
Yeah.
a wider audience as well. But our
Right.
specific audience, I would say, students or graduates the last 5 years.
Nice. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that.
What do you think? You like? Okay, so you started a business. Like, let's say I was a student, second, third year, and you graduate. Like, what if you're like, I'm not sure I want to do a business, right? Like, how did you go about like processing you want to do this, or did you always know? Is this
I
like
think
in
I
you?
always knew, and I think I've been thinking about it for so long, but I was always so scared to like take that step. Like I was just so comfortable, and I think I don't know, like something in me like was just like you have to just do it, or like you're gonna look back and be like, what took you so long? So, and I had so many people telling me, like, which was like a lot of pressure in a way, but I think it pushed me ultimately. Like, I had so many people telling me, like, just do it, Alexa, like you'll be successful. And so, like, if that many people are believing in you, then like you have to believe in yourself, right? So, yeah, I think just like it came down to like who I had on my side and like believing in myself.
I wanted to talk a little bit about getting your license, I guess, in Canada versus the US. Like, I know we kind of were like talking about it a little bit earlier that you were like trying to research the difference, I guess. Or
I
whatever.
know.
Yeah. But just like, yeah. So do they accept the boards that you take here, or do you have to take new boards, or like what's that like?
So it's interesting. It's changed quite recently, but you used to be in certain provinces in Canada, you could take NBEO and still practice. And then in others, you had to take the Canadian board. So there's a separate Canadian board that's very similar, but it's just 2 parts instead of 3. It's called the OEBC. And I just took NBEO. I just was like, if one day I want to practice in the States, like at least I have my boards now. So, but now they completely changed it. No province will accept NBEO. So you have to take the Canadian boards if you want to practice in Canada.
So there's no point in taking the NBEO either.
No. Unless you like are going to practice.
You're going to practice here. Yeah.
Right. But I think there's also a little bit of a roadblock where if I've been practicing for a certain amount of time in Canada and I want to go to the States, like my NBEO might be.
It depends on the state. So like Florida had that where like you could only take the NBEO for like 3 years and like then you couldn't get your license there.
Right.
I think they've recently changed that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So when you say province, basically that's like a state here, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So
Like Toronto.
I mean, look at me. I don't know anything about Canada. I know you guys don't have pennies. That's it.
Winnipeg is in a province. I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Yeah. So each province kind of like here has their own like rules, I'm guessing, right?
Yes. So you do have to take like a jurisprudence exam to get licensed in your specific province.
Yeah.
So you said you took both, right? NBEO and the Canadian one?
No, I didn't do Canadian.
You didn't? Okay. But do you know about how different the Canadian one versus
So
NBEO?
My understanding is Canadian Part 1, which is written, is similar to American Part 2. And then Part 3 is similar to Part 3. So like it's a practical. But now that they've changed NBEO Part 3, I don't know if it's the same.
So there's no like didactic really. It's just like treatment and management.
Yeah, like that whole first part, like they don't go back and make you do all the like basic sciences.
Wouldn't we agree that that's truly what's important though? The ones that the Canadians are testing right now?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, yeah,
like,
I think you should know some things about the eye, but honestly, like I feel like NBO makes it so like rough. You're like, what am I?
Yeah. I don't know why I really put myself through NBO. Like, but I guess in my head I was just like, might as well. Like,
well, I don't blame you for wanting flexibility, right? Because like, let's think of it this way. Let's say you need to ever go back to the United States. You would have been trapped. There's no way you could come back and study, right? That would be like hard to do after working for 5 years.
Yeah.
It'd be game over, right?
The reason I did it too is like my husband's dual citizen. So, like it is challenging as a Canadian if you want to you can't just like practice in the States. Like it's not that easy, especially with the administration right now. So, that was more of an opportunity because of my husband. So that was always in the back of my mind, but I don't really have any intention. Like I'm laying roots here. So, but like, I figured like maybe one day if I'm like close to retirement and like want to pick up a few days in like Florida, like, I don't know.
It's so funny that you say that because I was like, oh, I have to get my Florida license reactivated, even though I'm not there. Cause I was like, what if I want to retire in Florida? But like, if you're going to retire, you're not working. Like,
no, I know. Take up
that's probably not going to happen. But and then we were talking a little bit about the insurance differences. I'm curious like what you found out about that or like the billing.
I just have heard that like your billing and like insurance is like a bit of a nightmare. Each province has their own kind of government reimbursement.
Okay.
So in Ontario it's called OHIP. Certain people are covered under OHIP. And then people usually have some private insurance. So we can, let's say a senior is covered by OIP for their eye exam and we want to do OCT and imaging, that's extra. Either they pay out of pocket or their insurance will cover it. But I would say majority of people ages 20 to 64 who aren't diabetic or don't have any sort of eye condition are not covered under the provincial health plan. So they are paying out of pocket or through their insurance, but the insurance coverage is very limited.
So not everything's covered in Canada, or are we talking about when we're talking about universal healthcare stuff like that? That's like cataract surgery, but we're not talking about like vision's also separate? Like how does that all work?
Yeah. So like because we have like free healthcare, cataract's a bit different. Like if we send someone for cataract, only a portion will be covered through OHIP or the government. They will have to pay out of pocket for some of like the lenses and the measurements, and if they want anything special, basically.
So
Like
basically,
lasers.
there's like no like private insurance.
Like there
Like
is,
it's
but
either
it's
out of pocket
limited.
or it's like our Medicare here. It sounds like.
Yeah. I guess.
Because here we have like I'm getting credentialed with everything, right? So it's like VSP, IMED, Spectera. Like if I want to be on a medical panel, like I have to apply for that. Like there's so many because there's so many private insurances.
Yeah.
And then of course like there's the Medicare plans or the Medicaid plans that are like through the government. But in Canada, I guess there's no like
So
private.
there's private health insurance, like, and there's different companies, but it's not like what you're describing with like VSP and like,
Yeah.
I don't,
It's so interesting.
I've just heard nightmares about VSP. Like, I don't even know what VSP does, but I've just heard horror
So
stories.
there's
I mean,
vision
to be
plans,
honest,
vision and
VSP is
medical
like one
plans.
of the better private insurances, like comparatively to some of the others.
Okay,
But yeah, I mean, like
really.
they pay like a certain amount, like you're contracted, and like if your exam's like $100 and you're contracted with VSP, they only give you like $60 or $40 or whatever. Like you're just contracted to take that amount.
And then like you aren't getting the rest of that.
You can't ask for more.
Yeah.
Like you can't ask the patient to pay the balance.
The
No.
only thing you can do is let's say for us we have a contact lens price. The difference would go on the patient for contact lenses for the exam, but not for the
For
like,
the
we charge-
actual lenses.
No,
No,
for the exam portion.
because we
Okay.
have
So,
to
like,
do a
we charge,
fitting
let's say
fee.
they're multifocal, we
Right.
charge $160. If VSP only covers $60, they have to pay the difference.
Okay.
But our normal eye exam is $89, but they still pay only $60. They only pay like the $10 copay, which would cover $60 of it. But they don't.
And-
we can't charge them the $89.
So do you ever get the $89?
Only
No.
if they're like cash pay.
Yeah,
But like
only if they're
not
cash
from
pay.
not VSP. Like no.
You can't ask for more unless they're doing the again like contacts or optos photo or something else.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So some people
That's
have
weird.
strong feelings about how the vision reimbursements are can be lower or stuff like that. These are common Facebook page conversations.
So like, yeah, for us, it's like you're going to get the money, whether it's through insurance or through the person paying.
Yeah, for you.
So if
for
your
you,
fees
yeah.
are like $130, then you're always going to get that.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not like that here for sure. Yeah.
So then it gets tricky, right? Because then it's like, is insurance covering this? When is it going to be back? Like, what is covered? Who should we send them to? Because even for cataract surgery, is like, okay, they're like, who'd you send to? And I was like, well, you tell me your insurance first, then I'll tell you who I can send you to.
Right.
I don't ask, who am I going to send you to first?
Yeah. It's all about who can we send you to?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
But
tough.
for the most part, like our Medicare is like pretty good. Like it covers like cataract surgery and like medical stuff more than like vision, I guess.
Right.
So like if I sent somebody for cataracts, usually it's like covered 100% like for the basics.
They're just,
What about glasses?
It just depends. They get like an allowance. So
Yeah.
like VSP or I know we're just talking about that one, but
Yeah.
just any of them will give like $150 towards like frames. And then like for the lenses, it's like such and such amount. But you have to use like their lab, like they have approved labs that you have to
Right.
like send it to. I don't know. It's like so weird. I haven't figured all the optical out yet, but they'll only reimburse you like a certain amount.
So like
We got-
there could be times where you're like owing the lab money because the vision plan didn't cover it.
Probably not, but
No,
because
'cause I guess the
usually if it's like
margin-
contracted, like it'll be like, okay, these lenses are covered under VSP, right?
Okay.
So their lab will know that that's the amount, and then of course if they like upgrade, if they like do a progressive or whatever, the patient will pay the difference, but it just depends.
Yeah. So is that why like people try like medical based practices or like maybe is that why people try to do more medical procedures?
I think for like dry eye spas and stuff like that, because it's all
Yeah.
cash pay. I definitely think
Right.
like IPL and all that stuff, you're just getting cash. So you don't have to deal with insurance.
Yeah.
You're dealing with higher income patients. You get the money right away.
And like if you're billing medical, usually they pay a little higher. Like if I'm contracted with like a medical insurance, like and I'm doing something medical, like a diabetic exam or something, they usually reimburse you a little bit better than like a vision plan. So
Interesting. So wild.
Yeah, we got differences with how you're employed, right? Majority, you're all independent contracting. We can be W-2 or employed, W-2 or independent contractor. You got differences with your boards, right? You had the option to do both, or now they have to do the Canadian one. We
Yeah.
have to do MBEO, which has differences exams, and then now we're talking about differences with vision insurance, medical insurance, stuff like that. Yeah, lots of differences here.
Yeah. I think what's similar, well, and there's scope differences too. I guess depending on the state, but we can't touch lasers at all. I don't think either of you can you?
Depending on the state too, right? There's like a
Right.
couple states that are trying for it. California's been trying; they haven't been successful.
Yeah, we're trying. I mean, yeah, our scope has expanded a lot, and like we can prescribe pharmaceuticals, which is great. And I know we never used to be able to. So
Dang.
I
yeah,
know they were trying to, like, in California, change the IPL thing too for a while, like radio frequency or something. They were like
They got
saying,
it. They got it passed.
yeah, but for a while it was like you couldn't even do that. It was
wow,
like, yeah. So definitely we're very legislative here. Like you have to be like fighting all the time for things
yeah,
to like change. And
yeah, us
like
too.
just recently, we like if you wanted to prescribe antibiotics in Vegas or like in Nevada, like you have to shadow an ophthalmologist for 30 hours before they let you have your like,
That's
and it didn't even have to be anything about like just shadow whatever. Like they could have just been
wow.
doing cataract surgery all day. I don't know how that helps me prescribe my antibiotics. Like, okay. But yeah, they recently changed it, but it's like crazy.
Yeah, it's tough, but always pushing the profession forward,
Yeah.
trying to, right?
Yeah. There's a big difference in states too. You're right. Like some
Yeah,
like like in Florida I can manage glaucoma just fine, but here you have to like co-manage for a while before they give you your whatever, and it's just different in every state.
For sure. The state thing is huge. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah. And I guess that factors into like where when people are deciding where to practice too, right?
It depends. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, if you really are into lasers, obviously you're not gonna like go to California or wherever, but
I've heard people will do residencies in certain states so that they can learn how to do the lasers too,
yeah,
or like that kind of stuff. Be strategic, no doubt.
yeah,
your scope's pretty close probably, right, in Canada, because like optometrists in like other countries sometimes are just opticians mostly.
yeah, yeah. I would say our scope is pretty similar, probably, to how you guys practice.
Yeah.
You know, there's like with glaucoma, I don't want to misspeak on this, but some certain types of glaucoma we have to co-manage with an ophthalmologist.
Yeah. Here too, I think, I mean, the states are different too, but are your provinces pretty like similar, or is like every province different?
Every province is a little bit different, but I would say the scopes are pretty similar.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. But we have like a drug list, and it's like if the drug's not on the list, you can't prescribe it.
I mean, we can't do like steroid, like oral steroids, things like that. Like you need
Yeah,
a DEA license. I mean,
I can't order labs.
I think we can, depending on like where we're at. I know when I was doing my, not my residency, but my rotation in the Indian Health Services clinic we used to, I think you can. I just don't think we do it that much. Like, I don't want to
Yeah,
read your labs, you know,
yeah,
unless I'm
yeah,
like in a rural area and I have to. Like, I don't want to be the one who's like, let me do your A1C, because then
yeah.
I'm
No, it's
responsible for
true.
that. But
Yeah,
I don't have
yeah,
the time.
yeah. Someone handed me like a picture of their MRI today, and I was like, I
I'm
do not want to interpret this. I was like, I think that's the pituitary gland.
like, so good. Yeah, let me go to chat really quick and like,
I was
Oh
like,
my
I'm
god.
not going to speak on this. Like, I just do not want
Yeah,
to miss.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
Don't want word getting around, you know. But you're good with keeping the word around with good stuff, right? Your social media game is strong. I want to. Why don't we end there? Like,
Okay.
are you still doing social media game now? You know, I know you're an entrepreneur, you're busy with stuff. Like, tell us about how that's like where you were
Yeah, I
with
think
it,
I'm
where you're
trying
trying to go with it.
to.
Yeah,
You know, it's interesting balancing like so many accounts, and and I'm now like I don't even have like my personal account like doesn't like it's there, but I don't ever post on it because I'm just like I don't have time.
you're big
Um,
on TikTok and Instagram, right?
yeah, and I post sometimes on YouTube Shorts, but I'm not consistent with it. Like I try to upload my content to Shorts because it's the same. But
Your
yeah, I
audience
don't.
is like patients, right? So like people who potentially could come in your office.
Yeah, yeah. That's and so like like I ran an ad on my new page just like trying to promote like and Instagram ads are so interesting. Like I'm like was this worth it? I don't know. But I guess if you can get even like one patient it is worth it. So,
Agreed. For
I'm trying to
recruiting,
figure.
we do paid ads as well, and I think it is worth it even if you, like you said, get a connection with one person.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I'm just like trying to find the balance and like I don't think there is a balance and I put pressure on myself to post on Instagram, which like shouldn't be the case, but like my husband always is like if I'm stressed about having to post something, he's like you have a full-time job and you're running a business, like relax. Like you
I
don't
get
need
it.
to put more pressure on yourself to do this. So,
That's why I
I
personally
I
do
try to
mine.
keep it fun. Like if I don't feel inspired to like I don't have a schedule. I don't like pre-record things. Like it's just like if it comes to me, it comes to me. And like I'm at the point where like of course I'm always trying to grow it, but like growth is tough if you're not super consistent. Yeah. I'm
yeah, I
happy
think
with the community I have.
we've had many conversations about like Instagram in the past, but like my personal Instagram is also my like optometry Instagram, so I'm kind of lucky in that sense because
Yeah.
I don't post a lot of optometry very much anymore. I mean, I
Yeah.
try. It's like, if I'm at the conference and like there's stuff to
Right.
post, but yeah, I'm lucky that I can just share yeah, you're right. It's hard to have like two. I couldn't imagine like doing my optometry one separately than my
Yeah.
personal account. And I always said, like, if it's not fun, like, I'm not gonna do it,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, if it's not, because people can tell that it's coming out fake. Like,
Right.
there's people who are on YouTube, like Dr. Allen, and he's like doing so good, and I'm like, wow, I can't imagine like getting up in the morning and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do a 30-minute video about some
But like
topic,
that's
right?
part of
But
his job now, right?
yeah,
Like, it's
but he's so good at it, right?
Nothing you
so
see
good.
30 minutes, right? Imagine how much he actually recorded and edited.
Yeah. And so like he
Yeah.
has to have like a passion for that, right? Like you have to
Right.
like that. Otherwise it's not going to be something fun for you to do.
Do you think when you're young and students or new grads, like it's just there's more energy with that kind of stuff? Like now that we're like running businesses, doing other things, family planning, whatever it may be, like you just have other things that are more
I think
important.
it'll come in phases, and I think like there'll be times where I'm more active and times when I'm not as active, and I still like have a passion for it. I just think like I have other priorities right now. But it's like, I still have like some brand deals, and like I have to like submit a draft by Monday, and I'm like I haven't started, and I'm like stressed about it. So it's like some things have to get done, and like, of course I don't have to agree to do these things, but like I like to, and it's kind of like a side income, so it's nice.
Do you approach them or do they approach you, or how do you get those like
Uh,
brands?
It depends. Like certain people I've had partnerships with in the past, and if a new product is launching, they'll reach out. Certain people, like sometimes I'll apply on certain platforms like First Collab or #paid. And then yeah, sometimes like it just happens like where I meet someone and we work together. Yeah.
It's weird how like brand deals sometimes happen like in optometry.
It's so niche. Like it truly is. Like I'm promoting an eye drop. It's like
Yeah, or like a new
who
product,
wants
and
to
like
know
usually
about
there's
this?
like not that many new products, and like then there is, and then it's like pharmaceutical. So you like have to like be careful sometimes with like deals like that.
I don't do like I don't find pharmaceutical companies are approaching me, and probably because there's like a bit of a barrier with Canadians. Like we don't have a lot of that's the other difference is we don't have a lot of the drugs you guys have. Like we don't have Mibo, we don't have Xdemvy, like all these things that like they always push at all these conferences, and I already know so much about that I wish I had like the option to have. Like Mibo I've heard is amazing. Do you guys
Yeah,
have
it's interesting because it's like very oily, so like it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like a normal eye drop. I don't know if JD you've ever used it, but like you can't even feel it go in. Like it just is like you're like, is that in there? And then it's just like greasy. So it's interesting. It's like olive oil almost in your eyes,
It's so
but
interesting.
it works it works well because it's like the meibomian glands, right? Like it just releases
Yeah.
the oil.
Yeah, so I think that's like I'm hoping here we're getting it, but I don't know.
Yeah. And Xdemvy is pretty cool too. It's like 6-week
Yeah.
treatment, and it's so yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out.
Yeah. So that's interesting, but we have
gonna have a lot-
Sequa.
Okay, great. Dry
We got-
eyes.
Got Restasis and Sequa.
Maybe there's no need. Maybe nobody has blepharitis or MGD in Canada.
People have it, and let me tell you. It's dry. It's really dry and cold here. Lots of dry eye. But yeah,
I say the opposite. It's dry and hot here.
I'm jealous you live in California.
It's just dry everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like 100 degrees in Vegas today. Let's not talk about it. So
We won't talk about it then. Fine.
Yeah, end of convo.
that's it. Just a little tidbit there.
No, I mean, it's so cool to like have you here and catch up and hear about your business, your social media games, like the differences in the countries, right? I didn't realize all this stuff with the exams and how the insurances are different. So we appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. It was so fun, and we'll
Oh,
have to
this
do it
was
again
great.
with the whole crew.
Yes.
Yeah. This is nice because we got the business side. It'll be a
I
little
like
more
this.
fun.
Yeah,
with
this was
the-
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Some
Lots of
entrepreneurs.
parallels. Yeah.
No, this was just like a networking, like what do they call it, mentorship event? Not mentor. Like we're all like brain thinking here, right? Like
We're all
about
like at the same
paths.
stage almost. So it's cool
Yeah.
to like see
It's
like
so
what we're
cool.
going through at the same time, but just in a different spot, So that was cool to have.
Like so I was talking about her business. She goes, "My baby." I was like, "What? You're having a baby?" And I was like, "Oh no, you're not talking about Nadia." Or like I was
I
just
have
like,
two babies now. I have a baby and I have a
Yeah.
business baby, and my husband's always going to be my baby.
So is he helping? We can stop record. Should we?
All
You're
right,
gonna
yeah.
wrap
Everybody,
it.
thanks for joining.
Okay,
We
bye,
appreciate you joining the
guys.
pod. Till next time, all right?
Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Depth Perception podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all of our platforms, including
Spotify,
Instagram,
Google Podcasts,
Apple Podcast,
YouTube. Make sure you click that button. Double tap that.
so you guys have no reason not to follow us and tune in to the next episode.
Stop wasting time.
Get in depth.
Subscribe.